one of you to read the text? Maybe Ajahn Tirapanya, could you read the first sentence?
Panchahi bhikkhave dhamehi samanagato Pacchāsamano na adattabo.
Katamehi panchahi. Okay. And so what do we have here? Can you identify the verb in that sentence?
Adattabo.
I realize that you can see my cursor, and so I'm leaking information.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You can play that.
But that's right.
Yeah. So that's right. So adatabba is, as we can see here, I provided a lot of vocabulary. So what would you relate it? Can you recognize what verb that would be derived from? Adatabba, because this is a particular form of the verb. This abba always means something that should be done, or suitable to be done. I didn't include the original.
Is it? I don't know. Not sure. Give or deity.
So I think it would be adiyati. It's like to take. I can double check it, but basically, who should you take with you, right? And I can look it up maybe. So adatabo, and it is not adatu. Okay. So very good. So na adatabo, not to be taken, right? Not to be taken. And then, as I already put the arrows there, so it made it easier. So who is it that should not be taken?
So this is the verb, right?
Right.
Yes, the verb.
Pacchāsamano.
That's right, Pacchāsamano. And the Pacchāsamano is what? He is samanagato. So that would, you remember that word from previous?
Endowed with.
That's right. So he is endowed with, and with what?
With five dhammas, 5 things.
That's right, Panchahi Dhamehi. So this sentence reads quite nicely. It's not too complicated. One word links to another easily. So how would you translate the whole thing?
O bhikkhus, one should not take a attendant endowed with 5 things. What 5?
Right. That's how we would say it in English, although the Pali, if you translate literally, then the subject of the sentence is actually the junior monk, right? So that's the way the Pali sentence often gets constructed. So a junior monk, a Pacchāsamana, endowed with 5 things, is not to be taken, right? That's how you can understand it easily. Katamehi panchahi, yeah, with what 5? That's the standard question there. And then Venerable Atanyu, could you read the next sentence or the beginning of it, the first part?
Ture wa gachati acha sane wa na.
Okay, that's enough.
Oh.
So let me just move this a little bit. Okay. So here we are. So it's a sequence, as we see, of a number of points. And do you know what this va and va means? There'll be
Either.
That's right. Either this or that. So that's always like that in Pali. If you have a string of terms like this, then the va has to come at the end. And unless it's in poetry, where poetry can sometimes be kind of different, but in normal prose text, the va has to come after every term. So atidureva, acchasaneva, and it could continue like this with another 3, 4 items. It will always be va, va, va.
Is that locative? Is that locative? Atidure?
Exactly.
Pacchāsamaṇasutta?
Exactly. So those two, I put it in the, so you can see it in your vocabulary list. I provided explanation. Can you read it? Can you tell us what it means?
So um, so is what so Gachati is going. So
Ego.
too yeah it goes too far or too close,
Yeah.
something like that.
So literally, I mean, it refers to walking on Pindapad probably. So it's like he walks, Gachati, either too far from you or too close to you, right? So that describes the proper way the junior monk should walk behind the senior monk on Pindapad. Okay. So atidureva gacchati acchasaneva. You don't have to repeat the verb like atidureva gacchati acchasaneva gacchati. I guess you could say the verb you could be repeated twice, but often in Pali just included once, and then you can put more items one after the other, separated with va, va, va. It means or. Or you can use cha. If it was cha, then it means and.
And is the attidure is the vocative or locative?
Locative.
Locative, okay.
Because you see the e ending. So ati dura is far. Asana is near. This is asana with double n. It's not the same as asana where we sit. It's a different root. But atidure, because it's a locative, it means where is it? So it's too far, and acchasane
Or
is.
you can say at a distance.
Yeah, at a distance.
Like that's more how you would put it in an English sentence.
Yeah,
he walks at a distance.
Away from you, yeah. But it's ati always means something that it's like too much, over the limit or whatever. So he's far, but he's too far. And acchasane is actually ati plus asana, ati asane. And if that happens, then sometimes the ati, the tik, changes into ch, double ch. Ati asane becomes acchasane. Double N. Yeah, that's it. Exactly. Ati asane becomes acchasane. So sometimes this is why you need to understand the Pali grammar, be able to take it down, break it down into the original words. Sometimes there are some words that can actually be ambiguous. You might not be able to know for sure, is it composed of these words or those words, because there's often these cases where they change, like ati becomes acchasane. Okay. And then the next, Ajahn Kongrit, can you read from the next one? Na.
Na patta pariya panang kanhati apatti samanta panna manang na nivareti.
Okay, thank you. That's enough. So you are walking on Pindapad, not too far, not too close, and then the next thing that happens is people put things in your bowl. So you can see the word that's there, pattapariyapanam. It's actually in the vocabulary again in the PDF.
It's patta.
So exactly, that is actually one of the words that's a little bit ambiguous. Because it could mean sort of two different things, but I took it as most people take it. I mean, it seems obvious. Patta is what? Is the bowl, right? Patta, ayante patto, patta. So, but patta can also mean which has been reached, which has been attained, which has been gained in another context. So there were different translations provided, but I think it means that which is pariyapanna is something that's kind of suitable or which is included included inside the bowl.
Dictionary says comprehensive or complete.
Complete.
In this sense, it could mean a full.
Yeah, exactly right.
Something
full.
that is full, complete, filled to the brim.
It could be exactly. So we'll see later what's in the Vinaya, how it's described in another passage. So patta paryapanang. So let's take it as a full bowl, a bowl that is completely full. And then the verb. Can you identify the verb?
I would say ganhati.
Ganhati. And do you know what that means?
Ganha is black.
Ganhati, let's see. Is there some word we know? Ganhati, gahana. It's grasping. It's related to taking, grasping, holding. So it is. He takes. He takes the bowl that is full, right? But it is na. He doesn't take the bowl that is full. Okay, na pattaparyapanang ganhati. And the pattaparyapanang has to be accusative with the ang ending. You can see the ending tells you that it's accusative. So that's the object. He does not take the bowl that is full. And then you already read the next thing. Āpatisamanta bhanamanang nanivareti. So, Tanwarabo?
Yes.
How would you break this down?
I would say apati is the offense, samanta is to be near, bhanamana is the one who speak, and nivareti is to refrain, no? So not to obstruct someone who is saying something and is about to commit an offense about saying, like
Exactly.
like a hinting or something like that. Then
so the verb
one has to.
But this describes the. So this is nanivareti. So he does not prevent.
Prevent.
So nivareti actually, you know this word already from nivarana. Yeah, nivaranas are what? Are obstacles, hindrances, things that stand in the way. So that's the verb here. Nivareti is to obstruct, to prevent you from getting somewhere.
So there's an implied subject, no? Āpatisamanta qualifies.
So Āpatisamanta bhanamanang. So bhanamanang is the person who is speaking, right? So, and it's what? It's an accusative. So the monk or the person that is speaking, he does not stop him. And the monk who is speaking is āpatisamanta. That means in the vicinity of an offense. So I think this is connected to bhanamanang.
So nanivarati refers to bhanamanang.
Exactly.
So he doesn't prevent the monk who is speaking.
Mm-hmm.
And āpatisamanta qualifies bhanamanang.
Yes.
Yes.
You could even add a word if you wanted. You can add a word. Āpatisamanta bhanamanang bhikkhung. If you wanted to, you could put a bhikkhung after bhanamanang. Then you would know exactly bhikkhung with a. That's it exactly. And then you have the sentence in full if you want. So that's the object. That's the implied object. So does not prevent, does not stop the monk who is speaking, bhanamanang bhikkhung, and āpatisamanta is being in the vicinity, on the verge of an offense.
But he's very, very rude if he interrupts the monks, you know.
Well, in that case, you are allowed to.
Somebody's giving the Dharma talk. This says that you're supposed to interrupt him.
That's the next one. That's the next one. So in this case, you should speak. You should say, Ajahn, can you see that bird over there? Speak. Let's talk about the bird now. Okay. And next one, Ajahn Gambhiro, next part.
Bhanamanassa anantara katang upateti dupanyo hoti jalo elabuko.
Okay,
so off. So repeated anantara, like repeatedly,
yeah.
repeated speech, the repeated saying. So vanamanasa is the genitive, no?
Exactly.
Genitive here.
It's genitive. Again, you could say.
This relation goes backwards. No, that anantara refers is.
I think anantara is just an adverb that says in between. Antara. There are two antaras, one behind it.
That's in between.
Antara. It just means between, in the middle.
Inserts between. I thought it's like a repeated interruption.
Yeah, so that's the thing that.
Katang opateti. So opateti is the interruption.
Right.
He interrupts the speech.
The speech, exactly. Katang is the speech. So katang is the object. It's in accusative. Exactly.
Right. So he interrupts the speech of the speaker.
Exactly.
I see. So
Vanamanasa.
Vanamanasa.
Again, if you wanted to include the
he's not here, no?
Exactly, you could say Vanamanasa bhikkuno if you wanted to add the full sentence. Vanamanasa bhikkuno. So there will be a genitive, yeah, of the monk that is speaking. Vanamano bhikkhu is the monk that is speaking, but Vanamanasa bhikkuno, of the monk who is speaking. Kathang is his speech. He breaks into repeatedly. Okay.
Opateti. What is the opateti?
Opateti, if you look at the vocabulary list, it's explained as interrupts, but literally it means causes to fall in. It's from patati. Patati is to fall or to drop.
Really? Patati?
Yeah, patati is to drop. It's described there. Pat means to fall, like pindapata, pindapata. The second half, pata, is to fall or to drop. And pinda is the bits of food that are falling into your bowl.
So he causes you to drop the speech.
Well, I think it means more like opateti means avapateti. Ava means down, like looking down. Ava, but it gets shortened to o, so it becomes opateti. I don't know, like jumping in. It's jumping in.
I see. The interrupter is falling in.
Yes, that's right.
So the interrupter is falling in between the speech.
Yes.
That's great. That's brilliant. Thank you.
Yes.
That's a nice idea.
Any question?
Ajahn, kata is more like speech in general, or is more like a talk, like
katha. Don't mistake this for gatha. Often people make this mistake when in Thai context. So there are two different words: katha with a K and gatha, and that's a long gatha. Gatha means verses, poetry, right? Whereas katha is a talk, is a normal speech, or as in dhammakatha, dhamma talk, right? So like when we give after the dhamma talk in the evening, people often make the mistake and they say Handamayang Dhammagathaya Sadhukarang. Actually, it should be Dhammakathaya. It's with a K. Dhammakathaya Sadhukarang. It's this katha. Means it can mean like your talk. It can mean even like a discussion between two people, or it can mean a dhamma talk.
Okay. Thank you.
And what about the three very nice terms at the end that define the...
He has bad wisdom. He's...
Dupanyo.
So do is always something that is bad or mistaken or wrong.
Lacking.
So has wrong wisdom. He's lacking in wisdom. He's dupanyo.
Notice the double P. So we know that panya starts with one P, but if you put du in front of it, then often it depends. Some manuscripts might have a version that has only one P, but often it gets duplicated, so it becomes dupanyo.
Dupanyo. So or you just say foolish, right? He's foolish. He's lacking in wisdom. Jalu is dull,
Done.
stupid. And Elamugo, I really like that you broke it down to saliva and drooling.
And mute. So you can imagine the face of that
So
stupid upata.
Ela is, but it's a very literal expression, right?
Yes.
Ela.
Like, I think it was very obvious that it's somebody you just don't take along with you when you go anywhere. That kind of upatag, you can leave him at the monastery. It's better.
What is his name?
I think you know him. So Ela, but I'm not sure. Also, Ela is the one of the AIs translated it as the goat.
That's the thing, Elaka.
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 So I wonder if there is some overlap of meaning as well or not.
I know.
With a goat, you know.
A goat that is drooling.
Or yeah, exactly. Or being stupid as a goat or something like this.
The hidden connections that are going.
Yeah, exactly.
Hidden meanings.
Okay. And now, if you look, this is only on the PDF. I don't know if you have it there. Just as a context, to give us a context, I thought of where else does this passage occur? And I found in the Acharyavata, that's in the Kandakas, describing the way you are attending on the mentor, and generally it is assumed that part of the Vinaya text is a bit later, almost maybe composed a bit late at a later time, kind of.
I inserted the text.
Great.
If you move the screen down,
okay,
then it will be on the.
Excellent. Okay, we got the whole thing. So we are not going to analyze the whole thing, but it's that crucial section that you remember from Vinaya lessons. When you go on Pindapat, if the mentor wants to go, Satche acharya gamang papisutukamo hoti. Satche means if, the acharya to the village, gamang papisitukamo. Pavisati means to enter, papisitukama is you desire, you are desirous of entering the village. And then it continues, all this. These are quite technical terms, and they are even a bit problematic. There is the occurrence of the term Saṅghati and how you wear it, but it seems sometimes the Saṅghati, it's in plural, so it's as if you were wearing two Saṅghatis, but it seems that it was sometimes used to refer to both the Chivara, the Uttara Saṅgha, and the Saṅghati. This is a complicated discussion, very technical.
This is very good. This is the first time I see this technique of wearing the Saṅghati actually described.
Yeah, exactly.
In the something that is in the tradition, other than just be talking to each other about it.
But as we said, this is from the Kandaka, so we assume is a bit maybe slightly later than the rest of the text, and by that time they might have developed a kind of a specific way of how to wear it properly. So it describes how you wear the lower robe around the knees and the three circles all around, and putting on the waistband, the belt, right, and putting the fastener. It means so the robe doesn't open. And then it says you have taken the bowl, and then it copies basically the sutta that we were just reading. It gets copied here, almost literally, all these terms. So what I assume happened is that, like, a lot of the Vinaya references were kind of scattered through some of the suttas, especially in the Anguttara Nikaya. There are a lot of short suttas that have some references to Vinaya, and then when it was kind of systematized, when they wanted to make these more systematic descriptions in the Kandakas, they just used it and put it here. So it's almost exactly, at the end. Natidure gantabang, one should go not too far. Nachasane gantabang, one should go not too close. Pattaparyapanang patigahe tabang. Patigahe tabang meaning to receive, to take. You should take that which is included in the bow. And then here it says very clearly, na acharyasa bhanamanasa antarantara katha opate taba. So it just puts the same sentences that we were analyzing before, but in a different grammatical form. So the speech of the speech katha of the speaking acharya sabhanamanasa of the speaking acharya should not be broken into opa tetaba. And then the final thing is acharyo apatisamanta bhanamano nivaretabo. So the acharya, the mentor who is speaking bhanamano should be and he is apatisamanta, in the vicinity of offense. He should be nivaretabo, he should be stopped, he should be obstructed in that sense. Yeah.
So, permission to interrupt. Permission to interrupt.
To interrupt him. Okay, so that's our little Vinaya lesson.
But interesting, I looked it up just now, and
yeah.
It says Wikipedia entry for the Kandakas says that this was compiled at the first council. So that's
a speculation. Nobody knows.
They reckon
they would have been closed in the first 200 years after the Buddha, roughly.
Okay, just trying to get some boundaries about what does early or late mean in this context.
Yeah.
Like was it composed in Sri Lanka in the 5th century, or this is first council, second council kind of era?
First, second council.
I see.
That's what most people, just from the internal evidence and what kind of language is used, what kind of terms and words are being used there.
Yeah, because that's still quite early in so as far as I think about this.
Yes. Okay, and now we have the second Ānandasutta. Ānandasutta, so I change to this. So this one is one of those suttas that start with a simple question answer, and then it keeps being expanded until it's like a very complete answer with many terms. So I skipped some of them and just went from first to the last.
But I think the part you're skipping in the middle is just the accumulation of the terms, and at the end you have all of them.
Exactly.
That's right.
So who would like to read the Pacchāsamaṇasutta? So Venerable Atanyo, can you read the beginning sentence?
Ko ayasma anandoyena bhagawa tenupasankami.
And even further, you can continue.
Upasankamitawa bhagawantang abiwadetawa ekamantang nisidi.
That's it. So this is a typical beginning of most suttas or many suttas describing how. Do you know roughly what it means?
Ko means indeed. Atta, I don't remember for atta actually.
Atta ko always means like and then.
Oh, okay, and then ayasma is venerable, so Ananda. After so Bhagawa, so actually, so Venerable Ananda went to the Blessed One, and so
this is a
when
kind of
Tenupasankami.
That's right. So it's always, I think we've come across this before, haven't we? I think it's
Yes.
Yena Bhagava Tenupasankami. This is actually one of these Yena Tena constructions. So Yena Bhagava, where the Blessed One was, Tena Upasankami. So Ten Upasankami is actually Tena Upasankami. Exactly. Yena Tena. It's a kind of stock phrase that you always find, so where he was, there he went. Okay, and then Upasankamitva.
Having approached. The Blessed One.
Bhagavantam Abhivaditva.
So Abiwaditawa bow down.
Yeah, you paid respect.
Yeah, pay respect. Ekaman Nisidi to sit
One side.
One side, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's that stock phrase, so having come, bow down and set to one side. And then it continues, ekamantang nisino, ko ayasma anando. So sitting at one side. So nisinna is being seated. It's from nisidati, to sit down, nisidati. And nisinno is the one who is sitting down. Nisidati. Yeah, thanks. Very good. Seated at one side. Venerable Ananda, Bhagavantang etadavocha, addressed the Buddha thus. Again, we had this before. And that's where we start the actual query there. So, Tanwarabho, how do you analyze this?
So, Kitavata ko Bante Bhikkhu Sanghe Viharanto Pasum Vihariya. To what extent, Bante, a bhikkhu in the Sangha dwells in peace?
And what's the verb form there? Vihariya.
Vihariya is the optative. Should live, no?
So it could be either would, how he could live, he may live, he should live. So in this we would say he would. So how would you translate it then? Kitabata, I put in the vocabulary there.
And how, no? Or to what extent does a bhikkhu would live in the midst of the Sangha in peace?
Pasu, so the word pasu, I think I didn't put it there, but we know it from pasu viharo, yeah? When we do the reflection on food, patisankayoniso. So that you have pasu viharo chati. So pasu viharo is a comfortable dwelling. Comfort. It often refers to physical comfort, just feeling kind of at ease, comfortable, physically and mentally. So how then Bante would a monk, a bhikkhu, Saṅgha, in the Saṅgha, so Saṅgha is locative, right? Saṅgha must be locative, Saṅgha. The bhikkhu is Saṅgha viharanto. So he is a bhikkhu that is living or dwelling, viharanto, he is living, viharanto, in the Saṅgha. Saṅgha, bhikkhu Saṅgha viharanto, you have to read it like this. The monk that is dwelling in the Saṅgha, we would say among the Saṅgha or among the community. And how would he live? Pasum viharaya. He would live at ease. Okay. It's a question. How would he live at ease? Wait. That's too far. Okay. And
Bante and Saṅgha is a different case.
Bante?
Bante, Bhikkhu, Saṅgha, different colors. It is a different case.
So Bante is addressing who is it? Ananda, right? Yeah, addressing the Buddha. So the Ananda is talking to the Buddha, and he's.
It means that is vocative.
Exactly, that's a vocative. So Bante is vocative. The Ananda is addressing the Buddha. Yeah. So how Bante or Buddha, would the bhikkhu living in the Saṅgha live at ease? Okay.
And Saṅgha is
locative.
Locative.
Okay. That's right. Exactly.
So.
And Ajahn Kongrit, can you continue with the next?
Yato ko Ānanda bhikkhu attana sila sampanno hoti no parang adi sile sam Pavatta.
Very good. So yato, we have yato. I don't know. I think we also came across it before. I think here we can translate it as when, but it literally means like from somewhere.
It's an ablative form.
Exactly, it's an ablative from yato, but we can
From
say when.
or just how.
How, yeah.
Like this is like a Pāli idiom, but in English you would just say how.
Or we would say when actually. When.
Or when. That's right.
Yeah,
when would work as well, you know.
In this case, yeah. So when Ananda. So now the Buddha is addressing Ananda. So this is the Ananda is a vocative. When Ananda and Bhikkhu. And then how would you understand this, the rest? Attana sila sampanno. Can you have any idea, Ajahn Kumrit?
Attana Sila Sampanno. Attana is means self. Sila Sampanno. Sila full with Sila.
That's right. Endowed or endowed with virtue. And Attana here. Attana means like by oneself, or literally it's again ablative I think, from oneself, atta, and it becomes attana, like by attana sila sampanno hoti, like from oneself, by oneself. One is endowed with virtue, but no parang adhisila sampavata. So how would you understand the rest? No parang. What is parang? Para is always other. Other person, other people. Yeah, is the most common word like to describe oneself as opposed to other. So
sorry, may I go back to ablative first? Ablative should be blue, right?
Yes, I think the version that Ajahn Gavisaku opened has a different color scheme.
I see.
And so when I color it in blue, then on his computer that is purple.
I see.
I have a very old computer. I think it's my screen.
No, that it's nothing to do with your computer.
It's blue, eh?
Yeah.
Blue here, I can.
And so, yes,
Anyway.
purple is the new blue.
Okay. Oh well.
Okay.
Never mind.
For me now, what I can guess the most is just try to follow what case is it.
Okay. I see. Oh well. So attana, like from oneself, by oneself. One is sila sampanno, endowed with virtue, but not the other.
So he is sila sampanno.
Yeah. So he is sila sampanno, but and now. So we are still talking about the bhikkhu. So the subject is the bhikkhu who is endowed with virtue, but not parang adhisila sampavata. He is not somebody that is urging or that is imposing. So that's this word sampavata. Sampavata is actually is a nominative. Yeah, it's a nominative. Sampavatar would be the kind of dictionary form, I think. So somebody that is like trying to make you, urge you, or impose on you. Yeah, sampavateti would be the verb. Urging you in the adhisila, in the higher virtue. Adhisila, yeah, we have the adhisila sikha, adhicitta sikha, adhipanya sikha. So adhi and sila means the higher virtue. So, and it's a locative. This adhisila is a locative. So but locative is used in the sense of like with respect or regarding higher virtue. That's it. Regarding higher virtue, he is not one that is urging others in the higher virtue. So what that means is
So he's no sampavata.
Yeah, no sampavata. So he's
So
not
not urging
others
others in higher virtue.
or with respect to or with regard to adhisila, meaning as a locative. Yeah.
Like he's not instructing others in higher stages of training.
Yes, but I think what this means, if you look in the context, this word is not used much, this sampavata. I think it's a special word here because in other passages, of course, it describes other monks that are like instructing others in higher virtue and so on. I think it means more than that. It's like somebody trying to really force the others, to like imposing on them and really always telling them, you should behave better, right? So that's the meaning here, not imposing. And then the next sentence, let's see, who else? I don't know, Gambhira maybe. Ettavatapi.
Ettavatapi ko Ānanda bhikkhu sanghe viharanto pāsam viharayati. Thus, in that way also Ānanda, the bhikkhu in the Saṅgha, would dwell in peace.
Exactly. So it starts with Kittavata, and it's always like that. Kittavata, and it ends with Ettavata. So Kittavata, to what extent, how, and now Ettavata, to this extent, or in this way. Ānanda, the bhikkhu dwelling in the Saṅgha, would dwell at ease. Pāsum viharaya. And again, this, like we saw elsewhere, because it's the end of a sentence. Now in Pali, if you read it in the original text, like in the Thai script, there would be no these inverted commas, the direct speech. It's not there. This is something we add only in the Western editions. So you have to know how to read the beginnings and the end, how to spot the beginning of a sentence, of a quote. So they would just be viharayati, like that. It might not be even, there is no break between the words. It would just say viharayati, like one word, but we break it up like this. So it should be viharaya, and then iti. The end of a sentence is marked by iti, but because it always usually gets made in, included in the previous word, it becomes a compound. So viharaya plus iti becomes viharayati. So yeah, the a becomes a, and then we put apostrophe usually here. Viharayati. Okay. Now next sentence, and now I actually, oh yes, I did. This is an interesting question. So, siya panabhante anyopi paryayo yattha bhikkhu sanghe viharanto pasum viharayati. Siya, I forgot to include that there, but siya is from athi. It means would there be, could there be, may there be. Yeah, it's from athi, to be. And you are like making a hypothetical question. Could there be? Would there be? Would Siyapana Bhante? Would there be Bhante? This is Ananda asking the Buddha. Would there be Anyopi Paryayo? Now Anya means other. Pi is added always. Anyopi, another. Paryayo. And Paryaya is an interesting word. It can mean different things. Here it means something like way, another method, another approach. But it can also mean just like a discourse, like Adita Pariyaya Sutta, a parable, a metaphor. And when you compare something with something else, usually it's metaphor. So Adita Pariyaya Sutta actually means like the sutta with the metaphor, the simile of the fire. So would there be, Bhante, another way? Yattha bhikkhu sanghe viharanto. Another way, how? Yattha means like how. Exactly. Yattha is how. Yata, the monk dwelling in the Saṅgha would dwell at ease. And the Buddha is responding. And now again, we keep adding more and more terms, so that I have put them all together here, one after the other. So you will see this is...
This is where you have an addition, no?
Yeah, exactly. I put the dots in now.
This is where you're skipping the part where...
No, it's later. I put the 3 dots in. You will see the 3 dots.
Here.
Just there, yeah.
Well,
That's where I cut it off. So this is still as it should be. Yeah. Yeah. So it continues here. Siya Ananda. So the Buddha replies, there might be Ananda. Siya. Yeah, it's from Ati again, from to be. But he says Siya, there might be, there could be. Right? And now Yato Ananda, and again he repeats the same. When Ananda, the bhikkhu by oneself is endowed with virtue, but does not impose on others regarding higher virtue. This is just repetition of the previous sentence. And then he adds the next one. Tanupeki cha hoti no paranupeki. So, Tanvarabo,
Yes.
what does it mean?
Atanupeki chahoti, one who observes himself. And then no paranupeki is that one who does not observe others.
Okay, so I have included it in the vocabulary, I think. Atanupeki. Atta plus anupeki, self-observing. So you know the word upekha, so usually we just treat it as equanimity, but if you look at what it means, it's upekha, upa, it actually comes from upa ikati. Ikati means like to look, to ikati, yeah, I like that. Upa ikati, and ikati, and it literally means observing, like looking at from a distance at something. And then in this case, it means attanupekha is attanupekhi. You are looking at yourself, and you are not looking at others. Paranupekhi. So again, there is the difference: atta and para, oneself and others. Right. So watch yourself, don't watch others. That's the Ajahn Chah's. Yeah.
Yeah. So the previous one was instructing oneself, like your own sila.
Right.
But not telling others what to do.
Yes.
Right? And in this case, watching yourself, you're observing yourself, but not looking at others with critical eyes.
Exactly. So
This is good.
that's that. You see where Ajahn Chah got it from. And then it continues. It keeps, normally it would be much longer, but I sort of skip to the end, one after the other. So let's see, Ajahn Congregate. Can you read this next one? Appa.
Let's see. Appanyato cha hoti tena cha appanya takena no paritasati.
Very good. So appanyato, if you look it up, it's in the vocabulary again. I translated it as obscurity, meaning something that, like somebody who is not known, you don't know. So a monk basically who nobody knows. He's not like a famous monk or a big ajahn or anything, but he's just not well known. He's just nobody. No name monk.
No name.
He's a no-name bhikkhu. Appanyato cha hoti. And then tena cha appanyata kena no paritasati. So can you see the verb here? No paritasati.
He's not disturbed.
Yeah, paritasati means to be like anxious, to be shaken, agitated, worried. So not worried, but he's not worried by what? Tena, you can be worried by something or through something. So
this is instrumental case.
Exactly. That's
tena, appanyata kena. These go together.
So by that state of not being known. So appanyataka is is the state of not being well known, and to make it instrumental, you add the ena ending. So apanyata kena, and then tena apanyata kena. By that state of not being known, he is not agitated. Right? So it's both tena and also this tena apanyata kena. I'm just connecting the tena to apanyata kena so it's clear. Okay, right, understand this. And now it keeps going further and further. So if you are not worried and not concerned, then we can continue to the higher dhammas. Ajahn Tita Panyo can continue.
Jananang abhicheta sikanang itadama sukha viharanang nikamalabi hoti akitra labi akasira labi.
Okay, that's enough. So here, can you see the verb or something?
Hoti.
Exactly. So he is, and what is he? No. No. That's something else. But he is Nikamalabi.
Oh, Nikala. Oh, yeah.
He is Nikamalabi and Akichalabi and Akasiralabi. That means it's in the vocabulary again. I broke it down for you there. So Nikamalabhin is the noun. It means one who gains. Maybe you've heard someplace the word Janalabhi. Janalabhi is a monk who has jhana. That's the Pali word. Janalabhi, one who has jhana. Labha is what you gain, the gaining something. Nikamalabhi is somebody who obtains or gains at will. Nikama is from kama, but nikama means like at will or as you please. Akicha is without difficulty, and akasira means again without much effort, easily obtaining. And now obtaining what? That's it. So that's what you started saying. So what is it? Chatunancha? But it's Chatunancha Jhananam. So it's a plural. So it's Jhananam. So the jhanas is a plural. The jhanas, the meditations. And Chatunancha Jhana. So it's the 4 jhanas. So it's Chatunang, but it's Chatunang plus cha becomes Chatunancha. Jhananang, and then it continues as an adjective. Abhichetasika. So this is an adjective. Abhichetasika. It's usually translated as pertaining to the higher consciousness or to the higher mind. Abhichetasika. Chetasika, in the Abhidhamma has a different meaning slightly. Is a very technical meaning. Chetasika is a mental concomitant, they call it, mental factors. But here it just means, in the suttas, it just means something that pertains to the higher mind, like, higher states of mind. And so the 4 jhanas belong to the higher states of mind, and they are Ditta Dhamma Sukha Viharanam. So again,
these are genitive forms, no?
They are all genitives. Yeah, it's analyzed here in the vocabulary. So Ditta Dhamma and Sukha Vihara. Ditta Dhamma is the phenomena, in this case, the dhammas, the things that are visible here and now, and they are Sukha Vihara. They are happy abidings, we call them. Happy abidings, Sukha Viharas. in the here and now, right? So so you are the Nikamalabi. Let me put the arrow there. Nikamalabi of what? You are the one who obtains the jhanas, like that. And the jhanas are four, of course, four jhanas. And then these are all adjectives. Abhichitasikanam and dittadhammasukha viharanam.
Jananang is a genitive or the
Exactly. Is a genitive of a plural. Yeah, Jananam is a exactly. So you are an obtainer, literally, obtainer of these jhanas. Okay. And getting to the end. Okay. Asavanancha kaya anasavam ceto vimutim panya vimutim diteva dhamme sayam abhinya satchikatva upasampaja viharati. So how do we break this down? So who would be a good one? Tanwarabu, how would you analyze it?
Asavanancha kaya, and with the destruction of the asavas.
So what is the kaya? Is destruction, right?
Yes.
So, but kaya is what case is it? What is it?
Kaya, I think is ablative.
It's ablative. It's from the destruction.
Asavanancha is the genitive plural.
So it's actually should be asavanam kaya, but there is the cha that is added.
Yes.
So it's asavanam kaya from the destruction of the asavas.
Anasavan is without asavas.
Exactly.
Cheto vimutim panya vimutim is nominative, no, the next one.
It's the object. This is the object that you obtain.
Exactly.
You enter into.
Accusative. So is that everything is here in accusative?
Yes.
And then sayam is by oneself. Abhinya sachikatawa. Abhinya is the higher knowledge.
So with
having realized.
So with one's own sayang abhinya, with one's own direct knowledge. Sayang abhinya sachikatva. So these are related now. Let's see.
And diteva dhamme is the same in this life or here and now. And upasampaja viharati is dwells, and upasampaja, I don't know, Ajahn, is having realized, no, something like that.
So exactly. So diteva dhamme means here and now, in this life, in this present state. Sayang abhinya means through one's own direct knowledge. Having realized sachikatva is from sachikaroti, like the third noble truth that we chant in the Dhammacakka. Yeah? Upasampaja viharati. It means having attained it, he dwells in it.
But the upa is near, and sapati?
It's from upasampada. So upasampada is the state when you enter fully entering into. Yeah? So upasampaja means having fully entered into, upasampaja viharati, he dwells in it.
So the ordination of bhikkhus is fully entering in.
Yeah. It's like fully entering. That's right. Upasampaja is a past participle, having fully entered into, he dwells in the Ceto Vimutti and Panya Vimutti. That's the two terms always come together like this, referring to the Arahant who is liberated on both sides, meaning the liberation of the mind, Ceto Vimutti, and liberation by wisdom, Panya Vimutti. Okay. So that's very complicated. It can seem like a lot of terms, one after the other. They are kind of stock phrases, so you kind of skip over them when you read the suttas often, but they get repeated often. Stock phrase. And it's always the ending of some long list of terms usually. That's like the final, how far you can take it basically. And then it ends with Ettavata ko ananda bhikkhu sanghe viharanto pasum viharaya So it's just a repetition of the beginning. To this extent, ettavatapi Ananda, to this extent, Ananda, a monk dwelling in the Saṅgha would dwell at ease, pasum vihareya. And then there is this interesting ending. Honorable Atanyu, can you read the last sentence, Imam Ha?
Aham Ananda Pasuhi Waha Anyo Pasuyaro Utarito wa Anitarato wa Natiti Wadamiti.
So, how do we analyze this? So the Buddha is saying, Ananda, that's a vocative, yeah? Ananda, he's addressing him. Imam Ha Cha
So it's
Ahang.
yeah.
So Cha Ahang is and I. So I, Ananda, Cha Ahang what? Vadamiti. So I say, this Ahang is related to Vadami at the end. I say, Ahang Vadami. So that's the Buddha talking to Ananda. I say, Ananda. And now what is he saying? Imam Ha Pasuvihara. So this Imam Ha is related to Pasuvihara. So, and what is it? So Pasuviharo is nominative, but Imam Ha Pasuvihara must be another case. So it says from this pleasant abiding. Yeah, Pasuvihara is an ablative form. Imam Ha and Pasuvihara is both ablative. So it means from this happy abiding. Okay. Anyo Pasuviharo, another happy abiding. Yeah, so from one happy abiding, another happy abiding. Anyo Pasuviharo. Uttaritaro va panitataro va, which is either higher or more refined. Uttaritaro panitataro. The tara always means more, more higher. Uttara is higher, is high. So more higher. And panitataro, panita is refined or exalted or yeah. Natiti, vadami. So there isn't, right? Natiti means there isn't. So how would you put this together then? The meaning. What is the Buddha saying?
Yes. This I say. Yeah. From this I say.
I say.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Basically, there is no peaceful abiding than that.
Than that one. Yeah, exactly. So this is quite different how we would say it in English, but this is how the Pali sentences get constructed. And you have to know which word. Like there are two verbs for example here. So there is vadami and there is nati. So you have to know how do they relate to each other. So ahang vadami, you always have to find, usually it's at the end, the verb. And the Buddha is saying ahang vadami, I say, Ananda, and then construct the rest of the sentence. And then, yeah, exactly like that. Otherwise, you get confused with the construction of the Pali sentences. All right. So this is a good example of the typical kind of Pāli sentence.